Hello, and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Wubba Lubba Lubba Die Ty Christensen. That was really dumb. And I'm joined with Cameron Mickle.
Turn myself into a pickle. I'm Pickle Rick.
I'm Pickle Rick.
I'm Pickle Rick. I'm Tiny Rick.
I'm Tiny Rick.
Rick.
Dude. The same line getting used twice. And we've got Jordan Christensen on the pod.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez, man.
Oh,
guys, we're talking about this toxic show. We're talking about Rick and Morty. I don't understand this. See, I can enjoy a show independent of other freaks in the world that, like, berate McDonald's workers for Szechuan sauce. Like, I don't understand all of that. Like, I can enjoy art independent, and I always hear people are like, I like Rick and Morty, but I hate the toxic fan base. It's like, no, there's just crazy people in the world.
for real.
Like, people are going to gravitate to good things, and there are crazy people that try to ruin it for everyone, but it's like, and that's why I don't understand, like, Rick and Morty, Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon need to just, like, forget about these, like, few crazy people. They're like sometimes they have to do meta episodes where they, like, stick the middle finger up to their, you know, these toxic fans. Yeah. And I'm like, these are just crazy people. Like
the Morty episode where they're in the thing, take me on an adventure. He's like, has a gun to his neck and then they, like, shoot out into space.
It's great, dude. Oh, man.
Just feel like the good old days, the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, it's great, dude. I love it. Guys, let's get into this episode. We're going to be diving into Rick and Morty, this TV series. I know this is a movie podcast, but we just wanted to talk about it. The new season's kicking off, season 4.
5.
We're all enjoying... Oh, excuse me. Season 5. Episode 4 of season 5 I just watched. It's a great show. We wanted to talk about this. This is an adult cartoon. It stars Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon and so many freaking like they pull in all kinds of awesome guests. But
yeah, you thought Invincible
the regulars are Chris Parnell. Chris Parnell, who's so funny. He's Jerry Smith's character, who I love, and he was so funny in
5 Year Engagement.
Hot Rod.
In Hot Rod, yeah, I just watched that.
And in 5 Year Engagement, yeah, I love it. It's so weird. Oh, it appears that Ebenezer Scrooge is here. Golden goose. And it's got Spencer Grammer, who's Summer, and Sarah Chalk, who is Beth Smith. So those are the regulars of the family, and then you bring on some regular reoccurring characters, which are great. But I just love it. Yeah, guys, let's get into this movie. They bring in all kinds of guests, but I just have to mention Keith David, who is probably one of my favorite voices that comes on here. He's the president. He's also skinny giraffe with tall, I can't even remember his name. Skinny giraffe, small legs and short neck. And
he was also in Community. It's kind of fun to see them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dan Harmon loves to reuse people, and he's good because the latest season had Alison Brie in it. She's the Earth lady or whatever, which I loved. You know, Planet Captain Earth or whatever. So funny. I'm Pickle Rick. I don't give money to these corporate sponsors, except they do it all the time, and they just sit, like, crap all over it, and they're like, I hate doing sponsors and commercials, but I love this money. Yeah, it's like, I don't know how long that joke can last, but they do it a lot. But okay, so Rick and Morty, complicated relationship to the show. I really, really love most episodes, and some of them I don't really care for at all.
And guess what? We were the one who introduced it to Ty. I don't mean to be a prude or to say that I was a hipster, but I did get into this before it became popular. And so it was just like...
Jordan was there for first season, folks. You heard it here first.
Jordan got me into it.
He was a loser.
Right after season 1, he got me into it.
Yeah. I didn't get introduced until season 3, episode 1, and that was my first episode, Rick Shank Redemption. Yeah. Which was very interesting. And I tracked it. I actually understood a lot. Like, I didn't understand the character arcs before it, but I was like, oh, I get that he's transferring his essence. Like, I got all those things because, like, this is right up my alley. I love quick, witty humor that deals with, like, the sci-fi elements, and, like, you could understand very clearly what was going on, and they always showed the drool on the aliens' lips, like, oh, that's the Rick, you know. It's really clever, like, really fun stuff. So I like the show right away, but again, as I started watching it serially, like, I watched the first 2 seasons, and I was like, there's some episodes where I'm like, I don't understand why it has, like... Well, again, to say that is not to be fair, because, like, even the weakest episodes are still really good. It's just by Dan Harmon standards. I'm like, dude, like, you're a very talented man. And
I think it just sometimes gets cut down like, too far the Adult Swim sexual, like, rabbit hole, because where it's just like he kind of it gets caught in that, and he's just like it's just over like emphasizing that, and I'm like, okay, a couple sexual innuendos and jokes here and there, like I'm fine with. But like when you just full on dive down it, like you got to have some balance to it.
Yeah, sometimes it just loses its appeal for me, just because. Yeah, and again, that sounds so weird because I think this show shouldn't be so prudish. But sometimes I think that sexualized humor is, I think, one of the lowest forms of comedy, and but when done really well,
it's for cheap jokes.
Yeah, for a cheap joke, exactly. Like a quick laugh, like fart, like it's all very cheap.
Like the newest seasons of like any TV show that runs out of things to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like Workaholics did the same thing, where it's like we no longer have anything funny to do. What if we just like depraved ourselves? It's like
that's how I feel. Sometimes Family Guy is. I'm just like, cheap jokes.
Just shocking humor. Yeah. Here we go. Here's the nice set of. It's just like it's so dumb. Like I don't know.
And Ty's smiling. Really... He's like ready to laugh.
Yeah, because I'm making myself laugh because I'm doing a parody of what I can't stand. I'm doing all the things that I hate. This show is great. I really like Rick and Morty. I think it's a really great show. And we're going to get into just a lot of like our favorite things from it. But we kind of wanted to rank our top 5 favorite episodes for this episode of Futro Hidden Movie Gems. So
it's tough.
It's not lost on me. Futro Hidden TV Gems. TV series gems. Yeah, it's tough. Let's narrow it down. I don't know if you guys want to just do like...
I say we just do all 5.
Your top 5? Yeah, because I don't really have
I can't rank them.
Which... Yeah, I don't know how to rank them. I just know which episodes are like my favorite. So I'll start us off. Okay, so I will say my 5 favorite episodes. Number 1 is the first one that really solidified this show for me was Meeseeks and Destroy. The character Meeseeks was so funny.
Yes, that's my number 1. That's my favorite episode.
Oh, yeah! It's so funny. Like,
and it's the one I showed to most people their first time.
If you want people to fall in love with the show, do that one. And then my second I love is Whirly Durly Conspiracy. It's a Jerry episode.
That's number 6 for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so funny. Whirly Durly is so funny. It's
a Rick and Jerry episode.
It's a Rick and Jerry. It's the one where he goes to the theme park that's like completely safe, and then Jerry like double crosses Rick and tries to kill him.
And then they end the zone, and then children are like shooting each other and actually murdering each other
because the force field goes down, and then people can actually get killed and consequences matter.
And like
the
roller coaster. That one's a funny one.
And then at the end when they go on the train ride back and they go through like time and there's that super trippy. I just love it.
Oh, is that the one? Is that the one that ends with Rick? He's like, all right, I'll promise not to tell them that you tried to kill me. He's like, and I'll promise not to tell that you tried to sabotage my marriage.
Exactly. And then at the end he goes, yeah. And he goes, yeah. He's like, do you want to come in? And he goes, no, it's probably better that I don't. And then after he's like, okay. And then he starts going inside. He goes, well, baby. And he's like, stay strong, Jerry. We love you. And he slams the door in his face. I just love that. Like Jerry almost had a moment where he was like growing as a character, and then he like stumbles. Jerry will never overcome that.
Wait, these are my unemployment checks. You want these? They have no value to you.
So I love that. So Meeseeks really dearly, and then I love the Morty Night Run, which is such a funny episode. This is the Blitz and Chits. And you introduce the daycare for Jerry's. So funny.
I just love killing.
I just love killing, my favorite line. Oh boy, here I go killing again. And then Jermaine Clement is this, they call him Fart. He's like this gaseous form that Morty kills this entire planet to save.
I thought you'd like him.
As he's releasing him, he's like, oh, when I come back, I will destroy your planet because carbon-based life forms are like a plague to us. And we just destroy them all, and then Morty has to like kill the very person they tried to save.
And his songs are so good.
And yeah, Clement's song, the Moon Man song, Goodbye Moon Man, is so great. It's catchy, it's funny, it's the David Bowie esque, Jermaine Clement, I love it. It's Flight of the Conchords meets this show. It's brilliant. So those 3.
Isn't this like the perfect show for movie nerds? Like it is
Oh yeah. Like
Dan Harmon is so funny.
Yeah. You're a screen junkie and you love movies and callbacks and references, like it's just chock full. Like
there's so many you can't even know them all,
Right? Yeah. That's the thing too. Like there's so many that you're like, oh, I couldn't even track that, right? So number 4 is Total Recall, or Recall. Play on the words. It's the one where there's like these parasites in memories, and they like have all these like false memories and positive memories of these parasites. I love it. It's so parasites. Funny. The memory parasites. Yep. And then the last one was tough. I had a really hard time narrowing it down, okay? Because it's between 3 episodes, and I just want to throw them out. It's between Rick Potion number 9, which is like very Cronenberg-esque. It's Look Who's Purging Now, and the Rick Lantis mix-up. But I'm going to have to go with Rick Lantis mix-up. I'm going to have to kick out the Rick Potion number 9 and Look Who's Purging for the Rick Lantis mix-up, because there is an incredible moment where you find out that there's this whole multiverse of Rick and Morty's, and it's so great. I love it. It's really good. But this is actually the second time you're meeting the Citadel, and the story gets furthered. If you want to talk about canonized story, like there's like an evil Morty, and he like literally like ascends to power. It's the coolest thing. Like it really is. So watching that it makes the list. Yeah, and Rick Potion number 9 and Purging are still really good episodes.
Is that the one with when they have the contraption of like all the Mortys on the outside of the wall getting pinched, or is that
no?
But that was episode 1. Yeah.
Yep. I don't know if it was episode 1.
I think so.
Because that's the one where he escapes. That's the one where he escapes and his essence is everywhere.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's the one where you see...
Is that where they end it?
You see Evil Morty walking out into the distance, and he takes off the eye patch and pulls it, and stuff's back in the...
Evil Morty comes back again in this one.
Yeah. Evil Morty does... Yeah. And even if, like, fan base are like, oh, like, make that story, I don't really care. Like, I just like the episode because as a one cohesive story, it's really well done.
Yes.
Like, you see the seedy underbelly of, like, the disposed Morty. I love that. I freaking think it's so... And it has the whole Stand By Me element to it, which I love. I love that movie and coming of age films, and it has that in it, where all the disjointed Mortys without Ricks, I thought were so funny. It's like an orphanage. So great. So many funny moments to have. So those are my 5 favorite episodes. So.
Or how about when they did the wafers? They're like slowly draining Rick into putting his mind into wafers.
Oh the like the wafer cookies or whatever. like the essence is like it's like he's like made with that special ingredient. It's like excrement from his brain or something of like living the best Rick life where he's like good with his daughter and his life. It's so funny. It's so great, dude. Living a lie. Dude, this show is so dark and so funny, and it goes there, so... how about you, Jordan? Let's go for your top 5 favorite.
Mine's actually very similar to yours, Ty. You already had Mr. Meeseeks. I also think that's the best episode to show people the first time.
Yes. For that reason alone.
We did show you, Ty, the... episode 1 of season 3.
Right, but you guys were just watching it. You were like, Grant, watch this with us.
We did show it to you on purpose because it's
on
so
purpose,
solid.
because we wanted to make sure you enjoyed it, and it was because it was the most intelligent. It's just like he kept jumping from body to body to body.
Quip, just like it's just so quick and funny.
Yeah, I'm surprised that like if you guys curated that, because again, I would assume that the Total Recall or the Meeseeks would be the obvious choice. I'm surprised that you didn't.
Well, those were the second episode to watch, but
yeah. It's really funny. I love it's always a funny episode to me because I'm like, that was the first time I was exposed to Rick and Morty. I'm like, oh, I get why people like this already. Like I knew it's like, this is the millennial Gen Z show that's going to be around forever. Like no one has ever signed on for 70 seasons of anything. That's never happened before, let alone on an Adult Swim show. Like that's crazy. So Adult Swim network. So anyway.
Well, but I did add, so I put Meeseeks as number 1, and then my second favorite episode is the Vat of Acid. I just... Like
really,
I'm all about an episode where they can seriously like show so much and say so little. Like I love shows like what's that cartoon that's out that I'm obsessed with? Primal. I just love a show where there's like no words, and so this episode is so awesome, and it's about like relationships, and I love that he lives out this whole thing, and then it goes back, and it's just so devastating.
You mean like he lives an entire life, and then it's the save point one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He dies in the carpet store.
No. That's
Splits and Chips.
That's Splits and Chips, yeah, which is the Morty Night Run. But yeah, Karen, it's the
prestige
one where he can like the prestige one where I prestige you.
I prestige you, Morty.
You were dying in all these other realities, and you were just jumping into the different ones where you successfully.
And then it's devastating because when they merged it all, and then she came, and then he jumped into acid. I was like, no, you can have her.
It's so fun. I love it when he accidentally doesn't save it for years and years, and then like the girl that he met at the bookstore, he goes up to her and like he's like, "Oh, we have like a whole life together." She like hates him and then pepper sprays him, and he accidentally saves it. It's so devastating. Like, we're talking about dark. Like, he loses this whole relationship to this girl that he organically met.
But Ty, remember he merges all realities, so then she remembers him and everything they went through. But remember, he threw himself into the acid, and so she thought he died.
It's crazy.
Okay, and then my third is obviously Rick Lantis mix-up. I just feel like it has all my favorite elements. It feels like Equilibrium and What's Training Day and just
Blade Runner. Yeah. Training Day. It is Training Day. Where he's
all my favorite shows in one. And my favorite part is like
Fat Morty.
Well,
training Rick on the job.
My favorite part is like
dirty cops.
Even the smartest man in the universe ends up taking a total crappy job. I love that idea where it's like when you put all the smartest people in the world, suddenly nobody's smart.
Nobody's smart. Nobody's smart. Exactly. Like where do you find meaning in existence? Like the factory workers, right? They're like, I hate my job, but they're like, they're all like, it's so funny. Yeah, like what do you do? Like it's crazy, and I love it that the Rickest Rick like refuses to be part of it. It's like this stupid club, and it's like a whole society, and like there's people there that have problems, like miserable.
I'm surprised how you didn't put Anatomy Park as my next favorite. I'm surprised you didn't put that.
Really? I don't really care for that one that much.
What?
I like parts of it. I love like the homage to Inner Space, which is like a movie that Martin Short, like that movie's crazy. Dennis Quaid and Martin Short, like that's a weird movie. Obviously, and all that homage, and I love
Jurassic
like, the
Park.
theme park. There's just not enough of Jurassic Park in it. I guess. I mean, yes, like the theme park, and then it becomes dangerous. Yes, but I don't know. It just.
What are you saying about Pirates of the Pancreas, Ty?
Pirates of the Pancreas. Yeah,
that's my baby.
Hey, watch it. That's my baby, and they're really. We don't hide from that. The pirates are really.
And then Total Recall, obviously, that's so
Total
good.
Recall.
Oh my gosh, just like
the characters.
And then introducing all those characters for one episode and then never meeting them again, like this
is Poopy Butthole. That's the only one. He's the only one that's serialized. Mr. Poopy Butthole.
He says he's sorry.
Who's a real character, which is the best joke. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he said he's sorry that you couldn't remember anything good about him.
No, he's sorry that you couldn't remember any bad experiences because
remember that one time
so awesome.
We were screaming. Roller coasters are fun. I gotta get out of here.
Remember that one time when you weren't gonna shoot me?
Summer, I've always loved it. Oh my gosh, the rap song that comes on when they're in party land, like Summer and Unicorn hanging out, chilling, and like it's so funny, dude. Like they're all like having this disco party. That's so funny, dude.
And then obviously really
Jerry's gay is so funny. I'm sorry. Sleepy Gary cheating on Beth with Sleepy Gary.
Please, we said nut in the house.
What are we doing?
That was the weirdest shit ever. I was so confused.
Oh my gosh. Dude, Jerry, dude.
I really like this newest episode with the whole Clive Barker world. I love all the Hellraiser and stuff.
That was pretty fun. This new season,
this
I
pain
rank
actually
the episode.
brings me pleasure.
Pain actually causes me pleasure, which feels good.
I still like the first episode of season 5 so far, the best.
It is the best, yeah.
Which one?
Episode 1. I think it goes 1, 2, and then it kind of trails off after that.
I don't know. So far, I actually think it's 2, 1, and then 4 and 3. I think.
Yeah, 3 was.
I still like 2, dude. The decoys. That's just classic Rick and Morty.
Dude, but the ending of 3 with the mom, like I just cried. There's something about moms just gets to me every time.
Yeah. Oh wait, the third. Oh yeah, the third one.
Yeah, the mom after he breaks up with that girl and the mom comes in, like I don't know. That's
a sweet. Yeah, that's one of the sweet moments. But I almost feel like it was a sweet moment, but I just feel like I kind of struggled to see. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. It's just not like when you want to talk about sad. We'll get into those. I have a few moments where I'm like, holy crap! I cried in this show. I'm not afraid to admit it. There's an episode in here, and I'll share it at the end.
When he tries to kill himself, and then he falls.
That gets to me.
Dude, and the episode Autoerotic Assimilation made me cry at the very end. Chaos has that song come on. Do you feel it? And he like this long drawn out scene where he just broke up, and he goes into the garage. He sets up this like science project. He's got this cute little alien, and then he burns the alien alive, like it dies. And you're like, what the fudge? And then like he sets up the machine and he puts his head there and he's like ready to kill himself. And then he's so drunk and pathetic he passes out and he failed suicide. It's probably one of the darkest. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it, like the darkest things I'd seen in a children's show. And it's really upsetting, but like somehow Dan Harmon, and he did this a lot in the Community where he made Jeff Winger so detestable and yet like an irredeemable character, you might say, two-dimensional, dare I say it, a complicated character with morals and questionable, morality. I love it.
I think also another really depressing moment was with on the toilet, at the toilet episode.
Yeah,
you're just
who's thrown, I can't remember the episode.
What is your life,
the alien word.
Yeah.
That one's tough because I don't know if it's as dark and sad as there's one other
Morty
one.
burying his own self.
Yeah. Oh, the episode where they died.
Shiz.
Yeah, where they died. That was. I trying to remember which episode that was in.
That was right after the ones where everyone turns into like the praying mantis. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so it was Rick Potion number 9. That one was in my list. It was the runner-up. That whole Cronenberg sequence, and then watching Jerry beat Caveman, and then like ending it with like, we're just gonna slip right in, and then he's like, we're just taking someone else's lives, and like it's terrifying.
Watching that the first time, like I was devastated to leave that alternate family.
Yeah,
I loved that family. They were my favorite.
Yeah, they left behind, and I love that. Like
because
again,
the
they come back.
She's leaving her family. I remember Ty was so pissed when that happened. You're like, dude, screw her.
Oh yeah, when she's getting divorced, I got the F.
When she left, remember, she left her family behind. Ty's like, what a selfish woman.
Oh yeah.
Again, but I like that they did it. Yeah, it's super disturbing. It's super sad, like for sure. What's the episode where they had like the Jack and the Beanstalk? That was a great one too. They had the Noble Lie. Do you remember which one that was?
Yeah, when he tries.
Yeah, the Jelly Bean King man is the freaking like. Yeah, just give me a taste.
Then ending it on the Dark Knight, like.
Yeah, at the very end, they find all these photos like, no, wait, no one can know about this. And then the freaking picture of the Jelly Bean King, he's like got a little kid and the kid's frowning. It's so messed up, dude.
It's so dark.
It's so bad.
I don't know what's more dark, that Jelly Bean tried to... Well, actually, that's pretty dark. But I was going to say that woman on the boat to try to get Jerry...
Oh my gosh, and Cape Fear. I'm trying to get Cape Fear, the rapist. Yeah, the darkest moments are suicide, and they still go there in this show, dude. Oh, another really sad one was...
Wait, can I do my
really
5 real quick?
One.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
Cameron.
Oh,
yeah, Cameron. We haven't... Yeah, sorry. Let's get into your 5, and we'll just go around. What is your favorite?
Memory Parasites was my runner-up. It was number 6 for me.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I had Meeseeks was up there for me. The season 3 episode 1 that we talked about is just such a solid one. I can tell you for money.
You quote that all the time.
Who's telling me that? Who's paying me to tell this?
Who's paying me to yell at this guy?
I just love all of that. And he's like, turn their 1 to a 0. And then I love the Keep Summer Safe episode with Tiny Rick. It's just like
that's funny. I like the Summer
or
Safe part, but I don't like the Tiny Rick plot as much. I don't know why. It doesn't grip me as much.
I really enjoyed the Tiny Rick. I thought it was I thought it was really cool. It kind of showed like how, I don't know, just like depressed, and like how I love Bird Person kind of brings that full circle, and he's like, that is wubba lubba dub dub means like I am in great pain in my language, and you're like, holy shiz.
No,
that's why
Cameron, you're mixing episodes. When it Keeps Summer Safe is actually the one where he goes in the universe within the universe within the universe, and his car battery.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Cameron.
Right.
Yeah, you got to. That's right. Yeah,
they do the.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why I was confused. I was
the one with Tiny Rick actually has the parents. There when they
the couples therapy. Right?
Yeah, it's like you're codependent. And I quote that all the time.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'd have to choose. I guess I'd have to choose the Tiny Rick codependent one over Keep Summer Safe, even though I do love the. So you mean my entire existence is to power your car battery? Yep.
That's what you use it for.
And then
what's super disturbing is when he's like I'll see you soon, Rick, or something like, and the middle finger means like I appraise you, but then he learns the true meaning of it and flipping him off at the end. It's really menacing. Like you're like, he's creating so many enemies, dude.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
So many
Rick
enemies.
Does not care though. And then
he doesn't care.
And then the Pickle Rick episode I loved so much. Oh my gosh, the rat scene. I've never never cried so hard. I was laughing so hard when he just slicing slicing through these rats like freaking minced meat, bro.
And then the last rat, he's like, notice how I didn't give you a name because I do not care about you. I just so good.
He's so funny.
Pickle Rick was a runner-up for sure. I'm glad you mentioned it though.
And then what's it called?
I definitely didn't turn myself into a pickle to avoid getting out of therapy.
What about that timer on the syringe that's connected to that wire? It's like it's completely
unrelated.
The timer is for 10 minutes after we leave for the session.
And then so my last one is The Purge. Holy fudge, dude!
Really?
That was the first time I cried laughing in Rick and Morty, was when Morty pushes the guy down the stairs. Should we go back to 2 weeks ago when you were still alive? Oh my god!
No, get out of my house. Yeah, it's like, you want me to fade to black? He's like, no, it's fine. No, go ahead. Tell me what you really think. He's like, well, maybe you should start your story at the beginning, not just where it's interesting. Get out. What? Get out of my lighthouse.
And then I love how just dark Morty gets. He just goes slaughtering people just left and right. You're just like, oh, and then even Rick's like, whoa, Morty, that was kind of dark.
Whoa. Yeah, well, and he shoots Rick, and then he's like, yeah, good thing you saw that note. Oh, yeah, good thing I saw that note.
Yeah, he tries to murder Rick. He literally is like, yeah, good thing you saw it. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Fake gun, yeah, only stun. So I love it. I like our episode. I think it's interesting that we didn't mention. So I want to hear some of your reasons. So I liked what you said, though, about the tiny Rick learning that it meant great pain, because I think what really works for the show is the moments of, like, there are some deep moments, like, even at the end of the Rick Lantis mix-up, like, there's that, like, really dark moment where he's ascending to power, like, this evil Morty, and, like, there's a really sad scene with the Stand By Me story arc with all the disposed Mortys that don't have Ricks, like, they're all at this portal, and they think it's like, let's all throw something in that's meaningful. And then, like, one of the Mortys throws himself in. It's really devastating. And then, like, immediately after you find out it's just a garbage disposal or whatever, it's so dark. Like, it's so sad, too. Like, and that moment gets me, too, because, like, it's undercut by just how
Dude, it's
nihilist it is, right? I mean, it's like he gave himself up for a sacrifice that literally meant nothing. And, like... Yeah. That's just deep. Like, the show does that a lot, where it's very nihilistic.
See, another moment like that I think is like so emotionally packed and so sad is when Bird Person dies and when Fetching What's Her Name kills him.
Tammy.
Tammy. Yeah, when she murders him, if she finds out that, like, she's a spy or whatever, you're like, it's like one of the few people that Rick actually cares about. That's why I think it's cool, because you see, like, it's not cool, but it's sad. You see his decline after that. You just see Rick kind of lose one of the few last parts of humanity that he has in him.
Well, and then he's got a great line when he kills her. He's like, "That's for making me go to a wedding." He's like, "Oh, I should have told her, that you killed my best friend first."
Yeah.
I wanted to get into some of the, like, do you guys have a favorite character that you gravitate towards? Like, I enjoy the dichotomy. Like, sometimes
Jerry.
What I really like, Jerry.
I love Rick. I think it's cool because it just shows. I think it's awesome how because he's so, like, intelligent, he tries to put up these barriers that, like, the only way you can see through these barriers and walls that he has is through emotional connection to him. And so the people closest to him start to see through him because they realize that,
kind of like a serial killer.
Because they just realize that, like, oh wow, he is human, because he tries to put up all these things as, like, I'm not, like, he tries to detach himself from society, but, like, yet he needs, like, the love and care from the people closest to him, but he doesn't want to admit that he's vulnerable to them.
Yeah, and there's some episodes where, like what is the moment where he does it the most? Like, they did it in this last episode, season 5, episode 4, where he's like, oh, I have to prove that I like you guys to get this guy to react, like, I have to admit the corny thing out loud, where it's like, I secretly do care about you guys.
No, but
I don't.
He only did that so he could get the juice.
Right. And you could argue even, like, in moments where he's, like, ready to die with the fractured
please,
realities.
God, help me, I swear.
Yeah, he's
I'll
like,
change.
oh, please. He starts praying. He's like, I'll change my ways. And then he goes, and then he's like,
I knew it, God.
And he gets out of it, and he gets out of it. He's like, I still hate you. I'm an atheist or whatever. You're like, oh, but you were praying in your most desperate moment, and then you argue. So I would argue, like, and I know the creators maybe would never admit it, or maybe there's, like, edgelords that are like, no, Rick really doesn't care. I think he's super narcissistic and selfish, but it's just like when you watch Community, when you watch Jeff Winger, you're like, oh, he's only out for himself. But you're like, no, he does. Like, it is eating away at him because he's a loser. He really is a loser. Like, he doesn't have people that he really care about him. Yeah.
Well, I love the story. I know
there has to be something redeemable.
You don't like the super meta one, but I actually love the train episode. It's one of my favorite. It almost made my list. But
there's, like, some fun moments in it.
Well, and I love
like
at the end they're praying and they're like, and then Jesus comes and saves them. Like, it's so funny.
Oh my gosh, dude. There's some, like, and one other dark moment that I really like that's really well done is when they bury up their dead bodies. Well, he explains the summary. He's like, our dead bodies are buried back there. Like, this isn't my reality. And then he's like, nothing, what does he say? He's like, nothing, no one exists on purpose. Will you just come please watch TV? Like, I don't know why. It's like a really...
Yeah, nothing matters.
yeah, nothing matters. No one exists on purpose. Come watch TV. Like, for some reason, it's so, like, nihilist, and it's like, I wonder if it's addressing a lot of the anxiety that a lot of kids feel these days, because everyone's being told, like, Cameron, I don't know how you feel as a Gen Zer, but, like, everyone's just telling, like, you're not going to have a planet. Like, it was, what was it? It was the funniest meme. It was, like, COVID took my childhood, Trump took my childhood, COVID took my teen years, and global climate change took my adulthood, or something. Like, it was something meme like that, where it's like all these crises that are going on in my life, like I'm not gonna have any life to live, because like all we talk about is like how the world's ending, right? Like everything is a crisis. We have a racism crisis, we have a COVID crisis, we have a health crisis, we have this crisis, we have an epidemic on our, like we live in a nihilist time, and I'm like, I almost wonder if Rick and Morty is addressing something like that, where it's like there's nothing really to do except watch TV and watch memes and post memes, because it's like, what else am I going to do? Deal with the nihilism that's out there? It's a depressing world we live in. I think Rick and Morty really does a good job at addressing those thoughts, because sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's nihilism for nihilist's sake. I don't really always like it, but even like the very opening of their show shows them stealing the baby of like the god of chaos, right? Or whatever that thing is, that creature is the world ender, or whatever that thing is, the squid mouth creature. I don't even know what they call it, but anyway, I just love the idea that they're messing with the destroyer of worlds. When you think about how many worlds, the opening credits with that squid monster, right? They stole its baby, and it's like that creature is known as like the destroyer of worlds. And I love the idea that like Rick has destroyed many more worlds and messes with the creature that destroys worlds. Does that make sense? Like, I think that's a really cool moment that really encapsulates what the whole show is about, right? Like, Rick has no regard for human life, or anyone's life for that matter. It's just all to serve his own selfish end. So.
I just love when that ship killed that god, and then she like measures it, and she's like, and realizes it's not as big as she wanted it. And then
in the most recent episode,
the ship. And remember, it's like it tries to capture, because she's supposed to be like the greatest assassin or ship of all time, right?
Oh, the
like the mega
spaceship,
like
right? Yeah,
like the Transformer.
But the Transformer knockoff, what are they called? Like Changeformers or whatever?
Well, but I think she was like trying to prove that she was trying to break a record or something, because when she measured it, and she's like, it's not big enough.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even remember that. That's hilarious.
There's so many jokes.
Yeah, I must have missed that. It's happened so fast. I need to see that episode again, too. I need to see all of the season again.
I just want to give kind of my final thoughts on Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
dude. I think just one of the coolest things about it, kind of, you guys have mentioned, like, if you're a film nerd and you, like, love quick humor, like, in a 20-minute episode, there's so many things you can miss. And so it's, like, the rewatch, like, value of this show is so much, especially, like, you wait, like, a few months and you're, like, you watch it and you're like, oh, my gosh, I forgot, like, 80% of this. Like, it's so funny. And then I just really enjoy that part about it, and how much like cameos and shout outs they give, and yet being self-aware. I think it's just awesome. But
for sure.
I finished Black Mirror finally. Watched every single episode. Holy cow. Freaking right? Wild TV series.
It's crazy, Cameron.
Bye, I love you guys.
Later, Cameron. Peace. In the end, I just wanted to ask you, Jordan, like, do you have a favorite? So you mentioned Jerry. If I had like a favorite character from the show, I guess I really enjoy the monologues between Rick and Morty. I like when they're...
Doesn't Jerry remind you of Kevin, though?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's why I love him. I just love him.
Yeah, Jerry is our Kevin in our lives, dude. Kevin, we love you, man. Jerry. I love how they can still find new ways. Like, when he's buoyant or whatever, I love that episode where he's, like, floating off into space. I love that. Jerry gets into some of the funniest hijinks, is like he's like, oh, even he could mess that up, right? I love that. He's like, I just made him neutrally buoyant for a few hours. What could possibly happen? Oh, and he's like in the sky somewhere with his pants full of water. I love it. And then he's like ready to give up. And then he's like, no, I can do this. And he grabs on a plane and like literally takes down a plane.
Everybody dies.
Everyone dies, dude. This show is so funny and dark. I love it. I would say one of their credits to the show is I'm amazed at how much world building they do. And it's like, you could create an entire series off of one story arc that they've done. Like, it's amazing how they throw
one character.
Away.
Oh my god.
Yeah, one character. Yeah, like characters that they literally create
15
for
million
a
different
show.
characters every episode.
Yeah. I can't imagine what it'd be like to be an animator for the show. Like, I mean, it would be so stressful, just like constantly coming up. Like, then again, like in the writers' room, they can create anything they want, right? I mean, the show doesn't need to like. There's certain things that need to happen, right? The hero's journey. Dan Harmon's a animate fan about, the heroes that call the adventure and all that stuff. And I like how most of his episodes follow that. And he's always openly admit that his least favorite episode was the Avengers knockoff or whatever, whatever it was, just because he goes, it kind of passively happens to Morty. He's not the one that's actively doing the adventure. And I thought that was interesting because I was like, it's still a really good story and episode. But the reason I rag on it some of the times is because sometimes I think Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland, I think they're very tortured people, unfortunately, which is where some of the greatest comedy comes from. Because sometimes I'm like, I just hope they have help. Because one of the weird things is, like, really meta moments is, like, when Dan Harmon, at the very end of the episode, he would show, like, Dan laying on a couch, like a little claymation or like a little setup of his house. And he was like depressed, beer cans everywhere. He was like divorced, right?
But he's back with his...
He is. And yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's now back, and now he's like in bed with his wife with like dogs and everything in the room. And I'm like, I'm glad he's getting his life back together, because like it was so depressing. Every episode they'd end it with like Dan Harmon's like, here's another day of me just like like dying inside. I don't know. I just feel like they're tortured souls, and I think that's where some of the best comedy comes from, is from people that have really had hard lives. And thank you for your sacrifice, Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon. It's not
interesting
lost on
that now that he's back with his girl, like Jerry and Beth got back together too.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of the show mirrored
it might be clone Beth, but
I know, right? It might be clone Beth. I even love the speculation. So yeah, one of the things I also really like is the sci-fi element, where it's not so much that he's a scientist, but he's also a manufacturer. Like, because it's like, he always says, like, I will science the crap out of something. Or maybe that's a line from Matt Damon in Martian. But but he does that. He's like all Deus Ex Machina this stuff. And he like builds stuff. He knows the equations he can solve for time. He has like a portal gun that can take him anywhere in any universe. It's fun because it's like Rick has toyed with the idea of deity, right? It's like, well, I guess by all accounts, like I am a deity because I can do anything I want, and no one matters. And I don't know, like I sometimes think that like, oh, where are they going to take the show from here? And like, how does this all end? Like there will be a last episode of Rick and Morty. Probably won't be in another 7, 10, 20 years because they've just signed on for like 70 episodes. Like who does that? Anyway. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like when I watch Sunny in Philadelphia, where I'm like, they're still funny. I guess as long as they're funny, I'll still watch them.
Yeah, maybe just when he's like...
I'm not funny anymore. Yeah.
I just feel like he's opened up so many possibilities. It's like there is no end. But it sounds like he has like so many other writers that they kind of bring in other ideas and things, and then he just kind of oversees it now.
Right. Because, it sounds like at first it was kind of... Like this TV show was tricky. It had like a 3-year hiatus, or at least a 1.5-year hiatus, right? The end of season 2, they were like, we'll be back. And they used to like tease the season where they were like, maybe I'll have a big white beard and a belly. You're like, okay, so is it going to be a Christmas time? And then like... Christmas time came and went. And I don't remember. I think they dropped an episode or something like that, right? Or they dropped like a trailer for it or something. But anyway, like it was super cryptic and it was super chaotic, and like the show. Anyway, I'm glad that they have their crap together. I'm glad they got signed on for 7 seasons or like whatever. How many? Like 70 episodes, 77 episodes. Like that's unheard of. Like any TV show, no one gets signed on for that many. Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they get signed on for like 2 more seasons, right? Like you play by ear. That's what networks do, but they're like, this is a gold mine. Like crazy. Last things I wanted to say, just any other quotes that you could think of, like before we go?
Well, I was just thinking, it's just like Disney, like they just know they can franchise the crap out of this, and they're like 7 seasons because audiences like to know what's going to come, in the future.
Yeah. And the funniest thing too is like you could literally do episodes where it's like I don't even know what's real anymore, or like arguably like I believe that it's still original Rick and Morty, but they have abandoned their home and they live in someone else's home where they died. So they're just imposters in this other universe, right? And then there is a few other moments where it's like, okay, how many? Because then there was like an episode with squirrels. I don't remember what they did to fix that, right?
Yeah,
where all the squirrels
they left the Earth. I'm like, oh shoot, did they leave their? Yeah. And the vat of acid episode, like I'm like, oh, they left another planet, like.
Yeah. I'm almost like but I know they canonize everything. They really do. They try to stay like, and I even love the callbacks. Like one of them was great was when they mentioned that they buried the original Rick and Morty that were in that universe. Then there was.
Yeah, but are the main guys the original Rick and Morty? Because he had that voucher, and it's like, oh, did he use it? Like, did Morty die? Is this a new Morty? Like,
right, yeah. Or even the original Jerry. Like, no, that family's been switched out so many times.
I know.
Like, poor Jerry gets switched in realities. I love that. He's like, that's a Blitz and Shits ticket. I must have lost my ticket for Jerry. Take this one. And they just switch, and he's like, wait. Jerry gets sent to some other reality. Oh, it's so funny. I love it. It's
Are you fascista?
Yeah, that whole episode where he keeps. That was a great one. See, I like that meta moment where they brought back Meeseeks and he's like a Costco brand or what was a knockoff brand Meeseeks, and he's like, "What do you want?" He's smoking a cigarette. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's very impressive. I think it's a really great show. I highly recommend it.
And they just
out there.
Endless Easter eggs, and they can do whatever they want. Like
yeah, it's a great show that pushes the envelope. And but even then, like sometimes I'm like they do a really good job at like expressing the nihilism while yet introducing fun new characters. And there's like, as long as the episode is funny, and that's what I'd say. Sometimes the show takes a dive. Like they tackle things like religion. They tackle things like the nihilism that we mentioned. I would even argue in the Rick Lantix mix-up, there's like a little bit about, not necessarily capitalism, but like, yeah, there is like a whole society of people out there that feel disenfranchised. And it's kind of creepy to see how like an evil Morty could just take over. Like, I mean, I think everyone lives in the threat of that. It really did happen. You know, how did Hitler rise to power, right? So, I mean, like, he is speaking truth to those kinds of things. And I'm like, it's scary to think like how you can just let yourself become a soulless, mindless drone in a society that will just plug you in and you're just meat in a processor. You know? Just, it's crazy. Oh, man. Funny moments, though. One of my favorite Jerry moments in the Whirly Dirly Conspiracy where he, like, gets sucked into the hand dryer and then talks to this big, fluffy guy that's like...
It was one time.
He's like, where you can go home and fantasize about having or something like that. It's so funny. I don't know why that is so funny. That is funny humor. Because, like, well, I mean, who hasn't? Who hasn't fantasized about that? Jerry is so funny. Gosh, he's great. So I'm really looking forward to season 5. Do you have a favorite season overall? I wanted to ask you that.
Oh, shoot.
I would argue season 2 has like the most that I like.
Yeah, I feel like that's for a lot of TV series, though. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, most TV series kind of, like, their second season is when they're just, like, fresh new ideas. It's just like...
we're back, and we're doing better, and we're going all out.
And we're exactly, and it's like, and we're... Because they've got a rhythm down. They've kind of figured out what that rhythm is.
And then usually season 3, too, is like, I mean, The Office, right? You have the 2 and 3 are just some of the best on TV.
So unbelievably good.
4 is like, it's still some of the same, but what's happening? Something's happening. It's like you're 4 years into it, you know? It's a weird thing that happens.
Well, and they bring on a lot of new writers and people that are like...
Except 24 got so good up until season 5. Even until season 5, you're like, I can't believe this is still happening.
Yeah.
Every single ticking minute of this freaking clock.
Well, and then it dipped on 6, but I feel like it picked up on 7. 7 dipped. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, one of them dipped it. Yeah, 6 couldn't hold up to 5, but 5 was so freaking good. How could you hold up to 5? The music choices too were really good. I love that they used like that Empire of Dirt song. Is that what it's called? It's like the Johnny Cash song, "Hurt," I think it's called. And they had 9 Inch Nails performing it when he agrees to go to prison for his family. I thought that was great at the end of season 2 finale. And they just throw it all away in the first episode of the season 3 one. I love it. That they kind of play on your expectations. They're like, oh, this was a big sacrifice for Rick. And then in the end, he's like, no, it's nothing. Like, it's really good how they bait and switch that really, really well, I think. There's like, oh, is this the moment where Rick is like, is this a new low for Rick, right? Oh, it's even a new low for you. It's like, he literally tortures his poor grandson. Like poor Morty. Some of the facehugger things, like from Alien, even the titles of all the movies, like The Lawnmower Man, I love it. Like the dog, where are my summer? Where have they gone? Love that.
Big Trouble in Little Sanchez, like
Big Trouble in Little Sanchez, Big Trouble in Little China. Love that. I love it. All the titles are things.
Oh, there's so much to geek out about this show.
Yeah.
It's so. I love Dan Harmon. He's just like.
Yeah.
He is one of my favorite writers. Oh my gosh.
For sure. Community to this. And what else? Has he done any other things?
Well, he also did Harmon Quest. That's what we based our Futro Quest off of.
Really? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I listened to some of Harmon Town, which is his podcast.
Yeah, I listened to some of that too. It's funny.
Yeah. It's fun. Like, I mean, he's a very clever guy. He's done one of my favorite episodes of Never Seen It by Kyle Ayers. He comes on and does Lawrence of Arabia. Have you listened to that episode? Yep. It's amazing. I'm like, Dan Harmon went all out.
Well, and he did
hilarious script.
And he also went on the podcast with How Did This Get Made? And he did.
Oh, really?
The Snowman. What's it called?
Wait, the Snowman episode?
Snow Dad is better than No Dad. Michael Keaton, Jack Frost.
He was on that episode?
Yeah, that was him.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, this movie proves that God is real. That was Dan Harmon.
Oh my gosh. I have to go back and listen to that one. I love Dan Harmon. And dude, that is so funny, dude. Fetching Jack Frost, that movie's so crazy. That movie happened, dude. I remember watching that. Yeah, great song choices. I also love the song they play. I can't remember who does it, but at the end of Atlantis, where like the Mortys are shoved out in space, or the Rick was shoved out in space in the vacuum of space, and that song comes on. Oh man, great song choices. Super dark moments, super funny moments. Love the show.
The show's amazing.
Marmalade is served. Like, I love the quotes from the show.
Well, and I know a lot of people are upset about the fans, but dude, it's the fans that make some of the best artwork. Like, I've got T-shirts and stuff hanging in my room because
that's hilarious.
They make some of the coolest art. So I don't know. I'm okay with it.
So, yeah, some of the best and creative things. They have some of the most some of the greatest artists of our time have disturbed minds. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway. Rick and Morty, guys, check it out. It's great. Futro Hidden Movie Gems. Leave us an email, futuromovies@gmail.com. If you want to leave us a review or give us a suggestion.
Or tell us your favorite Rick and Morty episodes.
Yeah, tell us your favorite Rick and Morty episodes. Which one are we forgetting? Because Rick and Morty and those hugging face aliens one, that is hilarious because there's like a whole creepy, seedy underbelly of fans that like love the idea that Rick and Morty like end up together.
Yeah, but that's not them. That's the aliens.
It's the aliens, yeah. Dude, this show is so funny. Guys, check out Rick and Morty. And leave us an email. Leave us a 5-star review. Like us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook and all the social media platforms. Check us out on Patreon. And
my clients are P5, good to go home.
Fly to flow home. Wait, nobody got that? Because we're giants. Nobody understood that reference. Thought that was so funny. Oh my gosh, attorney at law, little person lawyer at law or whatever. Just give us a taste, you little. Don't be such a prude, or what does he say to him? He comes with edit me saying that. That's a terrible word. Oh, it's so creepy, dude. The freaking rapist. That's a dark moment of the show where he wanted to go on this innocent adventure, and it's just evil people out there that try to take advantage of it. Oh, and the most disturbing, I don't know if it's the freaking, he's like, I'll put my into this animal, into this tree, and all these like creepy animals were bred, and he had to eat them.
I don't like that episode.
It's hilarious though. It's so funny and dark. Yeah, ABC Death. He leaves this guy there in this like play place and left him there, and he had to like eat the children he was having. It was so messed up, dude. Some of the darkest, twisted stuff you'll ever see on TV, folks. Oh my gosh. Goodbye, Moon Man. Thanks for tuning into the episode. Goodbye, Moon Man.
Oh wait, I had to mention too. Just when they're snipping the people on the balloons, and the guy, one of the labels said, "Movie theater talker."
Movie theater talker. Oh, when they're sacrificing him in that one episode.
Sacrificing people to the gods.
Get Swifty. I love it.
Oh, Squanch. Yeah. That's what I should have said. Get Swifty.
Get Swifty. Yeah. Take your pants off. Take a shiz on the floor.
Head, bend over. Raise the posterior.
Yeah, I was just saying.
I feel now. I feel. Ice-T.
I'm going to go outside. Since the dawn of time. Ice-T was so great, dude. He goes out as like a block. He's like a diamond.
I feel now, Morty. You made me feel.
Oh my gosh. I love it. There's so many great scenes and so many great quotes.
I'm a bit of a stickler. How's your short game? Oh my gosh. What's your short game?
Oh my gosh, this show is so funny, dude. Hey, I'm Cousin Vinny. Hey, remember that time we were all stuck in the elevator shaft? I'm walking here.
I love the Fly. He's like, that's the head of the mafia, and all those fly jokes.
All the frogs, yeah.
What are you, stupid? I got like 1,000 kids. And he's like, you have 100,000 messages. Oh shoot, that's half my kids.
Oh my gosh. That's so great, dude. Yeah, there's some setups that are just set up for the joke, right? Like, I'm like, just go for it.
Some people would say he looked like a smudge. The guy that he accidentally convinced the teacher. Remember, it's Morty's mind blowers with the memories, and he made him forget that he convinced the teacher. He's like, he gets him fired, and then the teacher commits suicide.
Oh my gosh, I know. I love that principal. No, not principal. The black teacher. What's his deal? We're doing something serious. It's called math. He's so intense. Or
I'm about to get mad. About 5 more seconds.
I'm about to get mad. That's okay, Morty. He's the funniest guy, dude. So creepy. Oh, that dream one. I forgot all about the dream one.
Oh, yeah.
Freddy Nightmare. Perry, Scary Terry. Swords for fingers. It's great. Nightmare on Elm Street callback. Love it.
You don't know me.
You don't know me. Yeah, I quote this show a lot more than I give it credit for. Like, you just don't think about it. You're like, oh, I quote it all the time. Great moments. I'm a svelte man.
Existence is pain.
I love it. It's so hard to say goodbye. There's so many quotes we're leaving behind. So let us know the best Rick and Morty quotes.
I know. I don't want to wrap it up because it's such a good show.
I know. We're leaving out so much. It's just, how do you talk about Rick and Morty in a one episode of a podcast? You don't. There are podcasts that talk only about Rick and Morty.
And about single episodes, they break down the whole episode. It's
just go on YouTube, folks, and you'll see, like, here's like an hour-long video of all the Easter eggs in one episode. These episodes are like 20 minutes long. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, great show. I think season 5, episode 6 coming out. When does it come out? July 25th. Sunday. Okay, 3 days.
Well, and I love just like when I like pieced together, and I told you guys the whole Cronenberg world was based off of David Cronenberg, and your mind was blown. It was just like one new thing that you learned, you know? It's just like, oh my gosh, you're right. Like,
oh yeah, they literally mentioned the Cronenberg world, which reference to David Cronenberg, who did The Fly and all that stuff. Yeah, it's so great. Like, he clearly has a love for cinema and old crappy sci-fi films, like Lawnmower Man, dude. Have you seen that movie? Pierce Brosnan and that weirdo, that freak of nature. Lawnmower Man is the creepiest movie, dude. Creepiest movie. Oh my gosh. Does not hold up. But it's so bad that it's good. Yeah, it's one of those, dude.
I had a lady at work recommend it to me. She's like, oh, you like Stephen King books? You should watch The Lawnmower Man.
Oh my gosh. So good. They're just pranking people at this point. I just have to say the last thing. The recaps of the episode is like that one bruh guy that's like, you know it, bruh. At the house party. It's like, this when the family goes on a trip, bruh. Like, it's going to get real sick, bruh. Like, it doesn't say anything about the plot. It's like, could you just explain to me what this episode is about? Like, they can't even give you that. They don't even give you a plot synopsis.
You're just the crippled kid we take photo ops with.
Or the handicapped kid. Yeah, right. Special needs kid, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, so bad, dude. I love it, dude. Yeah, see, that episode did all of The Boys and all of, like, some of Invincible in that one episode, while also doing callbacks to Saw. It's so crazy, dude. Like, he touched on all the franchises and everything. Like, it's so great. It's like, and you could spend a whole the whole TV show about one episode, I feel like, dude.
Which
that's
they
the creativity
do.
Boiling inside
The Boys.
of them. Yeah.
Invincible has a ton of stuff that this show has. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just...
Got a lot of vibes from Invincible from this one too. The Nihilist, yeah, kind of prepared you for. But what's so great about The Boys was watching like a fresh new take on it, and it still somehow, I know it's a superhero thing, but it still somehow feels a little grounded, a little more grounded than Rick and Morty, where it's like they do only have this planet. Like, there's no like, let's just transport to somewhere else and we're fine. It's like, Earth is all we have, and it's under threat.
And another show kind of like this reminds me a lot of Futurama. It's also...
yeah.
Yeah, just very intelligent, very fun show.
Yeah, kudos to him. I don't even know how to say his name. Groening?
The guys that do The Simpsons?
Yeah, Matt Groening or something. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. I should know it, because I think he takes offense if you don't know it. But I like The Simpsons. I watched it in college, but I haven't watched it a lot since. And I never learned how to pronounce that weird last name. So, you have a weird last name. That's on you, bud. Sorry if you take offense. Anyway, this is... maybe he only takes offense to people that claim they're super fanatics and they never bother to learn his last name. I can understand that. All right, everybody, this is Futro Hidden Movie Jim signing out. Peace.
Bye.
Wubba lubba dub dub.
I'm Mr. Me6. Look at me.
You know it, brah. Oh, yeah.
Whoa-wee.
Whoa-wee.